Now, when a family from Milton Keynes joined a group of amateur cyclists riding from Rome to London in the aid of Cancer Research UK, they weren't expecting an extraordinary send-off. Now, before settling into their saddles and getting on their bikes, at the Vatican, ahead of this 2,384 kilometre metre journey, they got a blessing from the Pope. I can't quite believe this. Good morning, Scott, Lucy and Tim. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Right, I'm going to start with Dad Scott. Tell me, why did you get involved with this group, and what happened when you were just getting on your bikes at the Vatican?
Well, so obviously we've all got friends and family, and they're touched by cancer and stuff like that, and what you want to do is be supportive. So for me, I wanted to do something special. I got involved through friends with Inspired Living, who are all about trying to do extraordinary things through ordinary people to raise funds for Cancer Research UK, and then the knowledge that when you do that, you know, they've got funds to do accelerate drug discovery and better clinical stuff. So we were working with some guy called Andrew Gibson, we call him the mayor, and he was very gracious in terms of trying to get us access to the Pope. It was one of those moments where you turn up at the Vatican, you walk through, you do security, you sit down in an auditorium. The auditorium's probably got about 8,000 people, and then the Pope comes in, and there's humor, there's passion, there's inspiration, and then he passes by you, and he touch you, and he becomes animated about the cycle ride. And Andrew presented him with a Cancer Research UK T-shirt.
What did he say at that point, Scott? What did he say when you gave him the T-shirt?
Yeah, well, he was. They spoke in Italian. So Andrew was very fluent in Italian, and he was amazed at what we were doing. And in the announcements, it was like top of the announcements that this team will run cycling all the way to London for Cancer Research UK. So it was a surreal moment, and the animation on his face and his body that's kind of exuded humour was inspirational in many ways. But it wasn't just that as well. What we didn't realise is that we had to walk up the middle of the auditorium, and you had 4,000 people on either side of you, and they're all looking at you, they're all cheering you, they all want to inspire you and help you as well. And they're holding out their hands. And Tim and I were the first to walk up there, and it was a weird sensation. You know, we just consider ourselves very ordinary people, and all of these people were touching and holding out their hands. So it was lovely. Right, that's for me. That's my bit there.
Can I speak to
I got
Tim?
really involved. Yeah, you certainly can. I'll just hand you over.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, yeah.
Hello. That's an extraordinary story, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a really wonderful moment. Definitely one of the best send-offs we've had.
So, now, I know your dad's done a few rides like this before, but was this your first one from Rome to London?
No, this was my fourth. I did my first when I was 16.
Wow.
I did Winchester to Monte Carlo. So, yeah, I'm familiar with the rides, but this one was definitely the longest and hardest.
Was it? Tell me about the journey, because if you'd done a few before, but it was still quite challenging, this ride.
Yeah, so I think obviously starting in Rome and heading up to Milan, where we had several other riders join us, it was quite hilly until you hit the Po Valley, very flat, long days where you're doing over about 100 miles a day, which is, that's hard going. And then obviously you hit the Alps. That's just a whole another world of pain, you know, really steep hills, you know, hard mountain passes. And I think it's just incredible that everybody in our group managed just to push through it, get to the top of each climb and get down safely. So, yeah.
Can I speak to Lucy?
Yeah, of course you can. I'll just pass you over.
Hey, Lucy. Right, so we've heard from your dad, we've heard from Scott. How was it for you?
So this ride was immensely challenging.
Yeah.
I had trained for it, but as with anything this intense, you can never train enough. But yeah, so it's been absolutely amazing, and we've seen some stunning views. but I think I've spent most of the time looking at sort of the person in front of me's back tyre. So
now, this has become this whole journey and raising money for cancer research has become more poignant for you because of your aunt, hasn't it?
yes, so my aunt and actually quite a few people that I'm quite close with within the past sort of 2 years have actually had various forms of cancer and managed to kind of get through it. So it's suddenly become very impactful.
Yeah, very close to home. How much money do you think you've raised between the three of you?
Between the three of us, about $4,000.
Okay, and what's your target? I mean, that's a great target, but what are you hoping to, or is it a big total for the whole group of you that are doing it?
Well, with the entire group, what we've raised so far is just over $60,000, just from this ride alone.
Wow.
But from the previous rides, there's been about $370,000 raised. So ideally, I think the amazing target would have been $500,000. So anything would just help.
Tell me, where can people donate?
So you can find us through searching Give As You Live Inspired Living. And I believe inspiredliving.org.
And do you have a Just Giving or anything like that?
So Give As You Live is a charity donation page.
Okay.
So that's what we are using. So if you just search Give As You Live, Inspired Living, then all of our page will come up and each individual person's donation pages can be found through there.
Am I right in thinking that you've just jumped off a ferry and you're heading up to Westminster?
Yes, yeah. So we've literally just got off the ferry, reconvened with some of the other support cyclists that are joining us here who couldn't do the entire ride. And then we have to head off up to Westminster and try and remember to stay on the left side of the road now.
Well, look, I think you're doing an amazing thing. Thank you so much, Lucy, and to Tim and to Scott.
You.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Babs Michelle. BBC Three Counties Radio.